Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's class session. So far, we discussed about item structure as well as work definition setups. Work definition, nothing but a routing creation process. So we discussed about routing creation process also. Then, so today we'll discuss about work order scenario. What we will do is, before discussing work order, so first go back to the plant parameters one more time. Plant parameters, nothing but in e-business suite we have BOM parameters and WIP parameters, but now in cloud application we don't have bill of material module, but we have work execution. So for work execution and for bill of material both, so we have a parameters like plant parameters. So in very first class we discussed a high level overview on plant parameters. We'll go back and we'll discuss couple of more tabs in plant parameters. Log into the application with our username SCP_user1. Select sign in. Select sign in. Navigate to setup and maintenance. Navigate to setup and maintenance. Select manufacturing and supply chain material management. Select manufacturing master data. Select manage plant parameters. We already defined basic parameters for our Hyderabad inventory organization. Click on change organization. So select organization SCP_Hyderabad inventory organization. Select OK. So here manufacturing calendar, nothing but, so based on the manufacturing calendar only we will decide the resources, shift timings and everything, and even we created one exception for the resource. Remember guys, day before yesterday we created an exception, resource exception.
Resource calendar.
A resource calendar. How resource calendar shifts populated from this manufacturing calendar SCP facility schedule. There is a 2 shifts populated for resource calendar, SCP morning shift and SCP evening shift. So based on the resource calendar and manufacturing calendar, so we can define the exceptions and everything. That means on which day which person is going to be available, so we can track easily with the help of calendar. That calendar, nothing but we can say resource calendar or manufacturing calendar also. Then material availability. Material, nothing but default supply sub inventory. So by default every time, so for this manufacturing organization the supply sub inventory is going to be stores sub inventory, as well as default completion is FG. That means whenever you want to pick the components, by default system will verify from the store sub inventory. So if you don't define here default supply sub inventory, so even so we have one more area where we can choose the default supply sub inventory, where one more setup where we can choose a supply sub inventory
parameters.
Parameters, right? One more setup. So work center creation. Work center, nothing but department. For the department, so what is the supply sub inventory we can choose. So if you have at plant parameters as well as at work center level, then the work center will take the highest precedence. So do you have that value or not? Supply sub inventory at work center level.
Yes.
So we have same completion sub inventory. Default completion sub inventory, nothing but whenever we are going to manufacture any item, upon manufacturing, completing the process, we are going to place in the sub inventory. So what is the default completion sub inventory? So we are giving as FG sub inventory for our Hyderabad inventory organization. Then, so if you want to give, you can give it work center level also, but the final precedence will be taken from work order, nothing but from discrete job, whatever the value, that is the highest precedence value. But if you given here, then automatically system will populate, will default every time whenever you are creating a work order that this is the completion sub inventory. So these are the parameters which we discussed earlier. Then let's expand work definition. See, starting operation sequence. So every time whenever you are creating a standard operation, what is the sequence you are able to see? Operation sequence 10, operation sequence 20. Did you observe that one? Whenever you are creating a work definition routing, so where we have to associate operations. So whenever you are adding a row, So there is an operation sequence populated as a 10. I will open in another browser. Need is C2 ECQ. Log into the same user SCP_user1. So go to navigator, scroll down, select work definition. So work definition, change organization. So SCP_Hyderabad inventory organization. Select OK. So open this work definition. Open this work definition. See here, what is the, so this is the first operation, this is the second operation. But what is the sequence here? What is the first sequence? 10. Second one is what? 20, and third one is 30. How this sequence populated, this operation sequence populated from the plant parameters, work definition, starting operation sequence. Whatever the first operation you are going to associate, that is going to be the 10th operation, because the starting operation sequence is 10. Then follows to increment by 10 operation sequence. That means the next operation which we are going to associate to the work definition, it will increment by 10. 10 plus 10, 20. After 30, next operation is going to be 30th operation. So in this work definition, we created 3 operations. That is the reason we have 3 operation sequences: 10, 20, 30. So in this scenario, first you have to complete 10th operation, follows to 20th operation, follows to 30th operation. Then what is 10th operation? 10th
In case if we have to repeat the same process at the middle or the end of the process, then how we will be doing this?
I didn't get that. Can you please
Like support the operation 10 has to be repeated again after 30. Operation 30. Then how we will like
operation? It's not operation 10. Operation 10 is the operation sequence. What is this operation? Tell me.
OP1.
ASM. So then after 30, again you are going to add one more operation. The sequence is going to be 40, but operation you are going to give same operation.
Okay.
This is the sequence only. Okay. After, under 40, you will give ASM OP1 as an operation. Okay. Sometimes this quality checks, it will keep on repeat, right? So for example, if you have 30 operations, are you going to perform quality checks after 30th operation, or usually people will do every 5 or every 10 operations? To ensure the manufacturing process correct, every 5 operations or every 10 operations, we are going to include one quality check operation. The quality check operation is single operation only, but 50th sequence we will associate that operation. So 15th sequence we will associate that operation like that. Correct?
Yes.
So that means operations are, if you want, you can keep on repeat the operations. Just this is a sequence which we have to follow. That means after 30th, 40th sequence, again we are going to perform ASM OPA1 operation. Okay. Then, so we choose an operation sequence increment 10. Then what is this Phantom operation inheritance? What is Phantom? Tell me, guys. What is Phantom?
Phantom is an imaginary item.
Imaginary item. That means if you want to manufacture, for example, a manufacture A item, so B and C components together, if that is A item, then that A is not exactly, physical item. A is a combination of B and C. The A item we will say Phantom item. So that means a Phantom operation. To manufacture that A item, to pull that A item, we will say Phantom item. So in that scenario, whenever you are creating a work definition, Phantom operation inheritance nothing but Phantom operation inheritance nothing but. So what, whether the specific item, A item, if you are including in specific, correct? Okay. So to manufacture car, I need what do we say? For example, to manufacture car, I need all the engine and everything. I need so wheel. So ideally, for example, ideally this is not okay. Okay, we will take this example, wheel. So I need to assemble wheel also, correct? So if you want to manufacture a car, do we need to assemble wheel or not?
Yes.
So we need to assemble wheel. So if you want to assemble wheel, sometimes we are going to purchase from different companies like a C8 or some MRF or something or else. So if you are, if you are purchasing raw components like a tube and tire, let's take an example, then tube and tire becomes a wheel, correct? Ideally, tube and tire will become a wheel, correct?
Yes.
So in that scenario, what will happen is, so when we are assigning when we are defining a car item structure, are we going to mention tube and tire as a component? Are you going to mention wheel as a component?
Wheel as a component.
Wheel as a component. Then when you are manufacturing in that wheel, for example, we are going to associate to the operation sequence. Again, we have a concept of item sequence and operation sequence. Both will work together. Yesterday, we assigned items to the operations. Remember, guys?
Yes.
So then in that scenario, in the 10th operation, I need to assemble wheel also. In that scenario, are you going to assemble wheel or are you going to assemble tire and tube?
Actually, tire and tube only.
Actually, tire and tube. Then are we going to pick the tire and tube, or else the tire and tube we need to assemble separately, and are you going to pick as a wheel? So how you are going to do that one will be decided by Pantham operation inheritance. If we choose a none, so ideally there is an, Pantham operation none is there. Ideally it should, so maybe in future we will get one more value. So, but at this moment we have only material only and material resource. So material, ideally none nothing, but we are not going to inherit those components. So material only nothing, but those components, tube and tire is going to inherit for this operation, and we are going to pull those components also. Then we are going to assemble as a wheel. So material and resource. Not only.
I have a doubt, Sharath.
Who's this?
Yeah, Sharath, Krishna here.
Yeah.
Sharath, this phantom say okay. Then probably when I'm creating a structure, I can create substructure for this. And I'm just asking.
Yes, we need to.
For a wheel, it will be tire and tube. So why exactly phantom only?
I'm not saying. Just giving an example. It's not like exactly we have to use a wheel as a phantom.
No, I'm also asking. See, because I'm confused. Like, see, I can use in a structure a like how bomb in bomb. With multiple levels. So I can still pull that item from there. So I'm just wondering how. So.
Okay, I got it. So usually what will happen is that wheel is going to have a separate structure, but we are not going to manufacture that wheel. For example,
correct.
So we are not going to manufacture that wheel. If you want to manufacture that wheel, again we are going to maintain separate structure. There is a multiple levels of bomb. For this scenario also, we need to maintain another bomb. For that phantom, again we have to define a phantom build that. So for this item, wheel and tube and tire are the components. But what will happen is, rather than performing the manufacturing for that wheel, again another work order, or so again within this one, again another manufacturing process, rather than going with that one. If you are maintaining phantom for this scenario, what will happen? It will treat under single work order, single operation sequence, where automatically just we will pull those components and we will assemble as a wheel to the car.
Okay,
process.
Yeah, I got it.
One more thing, Sarath. Generally, now we used to keep that kit, water pump kit. We used to keep it in the plant. That kit consists of lot of gaskets. So water pump kit, generally we put it as a phantom. Inside so many seal kits it will come. It's very difficult to classify everything. Everything it will come as a phantom only. It is a virtual item kit, but inside the kit lot of gaskets and silicone, everything it will be there.
Yeah, that's a good example actually. Yeah, that is the example. So likewise, how you want to, this is the reason, end of the day, that is a component only which you are going to use to produce a finished good item. But again, that component is a combination of imaginary item which is going to have a combination of components. Rather than defining another bill of material as we are making as imaginary item, just we are going to define the phantom bill. So we are going to pull all those components to manufacture the final finished good item only. So without creating another work definition, or without creating another separate item structure to track separately. So within this one only, of course, we have to define one more phantom structure, but within this main structure only, we are going to capture all these details. So in this scenario,
Sharath, 1 second, one doubt. Sharath, in that case, how will you do? What item you will define for that wheel?
Okay, in that
Phantom.
scenario, we are going to define two more items. So tube and tire, and we will define one more item structure for the wheel. Wheel as a, phantom structure you are going to define, and you are going to assign component as a wheel to the car structure. Under car, we are going to have wheel component. For wheel, we are going to have tube and tire. That is another structure. But what will happen is, for that wheel and for wheel item structure, we are not going to manufacture separately within the manufacturing process of car. So in this work definition only, we are going to pull all those components.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Then here, phantom operation inheritance, material only, material and resource. Material only, nothing but. So only we are going to pull the components for the phantom imaginary item, whatever components is there. Material and resource, nothing but. Even sometimes other resources is going need to use, assemble that specific item. In that scenario, we are going to inherit phantom phantom components, imaginary item required components, as well as the resources also we are going to pull to this particular operation, work order operations. So which one you want to inherit automatically will be decided by phantom operation inheritance concept. Then so material only and material and resources. So which one you want to inherit? I want to inherit material only. But here we have to come, ideally we should get one more scenario as a none scenario. None, nothing but. So what actually at this moment not available, but what we observed in one scenario is they have phantom items. Sometimes they want to inherit, and sometimes so just they want to assemble as a separate items, and they want to assemble to the main finished good item. So in this scenario, ideally we should have a one more value, but at this still we don't have that value. Okay. So why? Don't ask me, because decided by Apple, right? And they are going to bring all the features, or whether they're going to bring or not, it's not in our hands. Okay, this is work definition. So yesterday we discussed work definition. So to implement work definition, what are the setups required?
Resources, work area, work center.
Resources, production resources.
Production resources, work areas, work centers, and the standard operations.
Standard operations.
That's also, and then
Of course, work definition we have to define, correct?
Yes,
then in that one also we have to discuss a few more scenarios, but our agenda is what today will complete basic work order. That is the reason. So just at this moment in work execution, you can see a lot of values like transaction modes, whether are you going to allow to change the quantity in the backflash process, all these things you can see. But again, how we are discussing by coming back, we'll discuss. So once we create executing a work order. Now expand work execution, starting work order 1000. Once you save, you cannot modify. So this 1000 is inherited from 00 to organization. Once you save it, you cannot modify. So I'm going to add a prefix as a SCPH underscore. That means our first work order is a SCPH underscore 1000. That's it at this moment. So select save and close. We will perform a basic work order cycle. So navigate.
Excuse me, sir. This is only for the standard work order, these prefixes it will take, or even for other work orders?
Standard, rework, or transform, or non-standard. So non-standard anything. This is the prefix and number will populate, but you can modify. Okay.
Sir, 1000 value where it is got from inherited?
From 00 to it will inherit in the vision data, but in real environment you will get a blank data.
Okay.
Okay. So before saving, for example, I will show you. Go to manage plant parameters. We have a lot of inventories, right? So change organization. So SCEP underscore. So some Bangalore inventory. Select OK. Expand work execution. See now, so you can edit, but once you save it, you cannot edit back. Okay. So if you want, you can edit like which sequence, which is the starting number. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So then navigate to work execution from the navigator. Go to work execution under manufacturing. So we have total 4 types of work orders. Out of 4 types of work orders, we are going to discuss. So standard work order. So by default 002. For example, whenever I will log into the application with SCP underscore user 1, I have to see Hyderabad inventory only. Which setup we have to configure? Which setup?
Plant profile option.
Plant profiles. So we try to change it, but that day because of internet connection we are unable to do. So I am asking to make a note every time, guys. Please do that one. Okay. So scroll down. Go to manufacturing master data. So manage plant profiles. RCS default manufacturing plant organization. Selected it. At site level, it is the 002. That is the reason by default when we log in with SCP user one, you can see 002. Add a row. Add a row. So profile level, user level, username. Select search. Select search. So SCP underscore user one. Select search. Select OK. Then select profile value SCP underscore Hyderabad inventory organization is the default inventory organization. Select save. Select save and close. That is fine. Plant profile setup is done. Then sometimes we have to, it's better log out and log in. Log out and log in back because sometimes it will update, sometimes it won't update. Better practice, sign out and sign in back. Select confirm. Login back. SCP underscore user one. So go to navigator. Go to navigator. So select manufacturing work execution. See what is the default manufacturing organization for our user? Hyderabad inventory. So far we don't have any work orders. So all of these things we can see in the infolets. So how we have infolets in inventory, same we have infolets from manufacturing also. These are the infolets created, I mean seeded infolets, and if you want to create new infolet, so this is a big process from OTBI. Okay, go to task. So here go to manage production, execute production. There is a different concepts. Manage production and execution production. So under manage production, go to manage work orders. Go to manage work orders. So from here we are going to create a work order. Nothing but work order, nothing but in e-business suite we will pronounce as a discrete job. Again, discrete job, standard discrete job, non-standard discrete job, or repetitive assembly discrete jobs. Those are different concepts in e-business suite. Similarly, discrete job, nothing but in cloud application we will pronounce as work order. In work order, we have different types of work orders like standard work order, non-standard work order, rework work order, and transform work order. Out of those four, so if you directly click on plus icon, it will create a standard work order, or else here drop down button, click on this drop down button. Here you can see what are the work orders is there. So if you click on plus icon, directly it will create a standard work order. Click on plus icon to create a standard work order. So item, for which item you are creating standard work order, SCP underscore Asus laptop. So how much quantity you are going to manufacture? I am going to manufacture 5 quantity. Start date, when you are going to start this work order process today. So you can click on save and close, or else you can click on save and edit. Click on save and edit. Click on save and edit. So now we can see what is the item structure, what is the work definition and everything we can see now. Click on save and edit. Okay. So here you can see status by default unreleased status. So then we have what are other status we have? We have unreleased, released, complete, closed, and on hold. These are the statuses we have. So then, so at this moment I'm going to keep as unreleased only. Start date is today. So by default system take 5 days from some administrator profile values. So if you want, you can update the completion date also. For which item we are manufacturing now. So SCP underscore Asus laptop. This is the work order number. SCPH underscore is the prefix. Underscore also part of prefix only, and 1000 is the number. This is the first work order number. SCPH underscore 1000, which we used for this particular item to manufacture 5 quantity. Again, if you want, you can update the quantity. You can give the description also. Scroll down. Here you can see product details. If you expand the work definition, so what is the work definition? Main work definition. Main nothing but standard work definition. So which is the first version we are using, and production priority also 1. Then expand item structure. So here you can see which item structure. It is a primary item structure which we are using. Then expand details tab. So here, so it's a standard work order. It is a standard work order. If you want, you can choose this subtype. So even this is a standard work order for which purpose? Standard production or prototype or repair purpose or pilot test, which you can choose. Just these are the values come from lookup. It don't have any feature. It don't have any functionalities. So if this is a back-to-back work order, then you can see back-to-back checkbox is enabled. So in e-business suite, we have back to. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Back to back. Yeah.
In e-business suite, we have only purchase acquisition scenario in back-to-back, but in cloud application, we have make-to-order scenario. So within back-to-back now, as well as ATO scenario is there. A part of ATO in cloud application, back-to-back buy flow is there, make flow is there, transfer flow is there. In back-to-back make flow, so if you are generating a work order, then you can see back-to-back checkbox is enabled. And if you are taking this for contract manufacturing process, that means if you are sending this to outside supplier, not OSP, contract manufacturing process, then you can see contract manufacturing as a enabled. OSP is different and contract manufacturing is different. Contract manufacturing, at the moment we are going to hand over components, work definition and everything. Then other person will complete the work order job. That is a contract manufacturing process. OSP nothing but for specific operation. So we are going to get some resources out from the outside supplier. Then those suppliers, those resources will come and they will complete the job. That is a OSP, outside processing. OSP is different, contract manufacturing is different. Then completion information.
Sarath, excuse me. This contract manufacturing, all the operations, it will be done by the external supplier.
All the operations, components, and everything we are going to hand over to the external.
So what we will do, we will generate only the work order.
Yes, so we will do a generate work order to track to track the content, everything. Simple scenario. There is a anyone idea about do you have idea about pharmaceutical industries?
No idea.
Okay, so what happens is, for example, let's take an example. Pellets in pharma. So what will happen is usually it's not pellets, it's not pellets actually. Okay, granules manufacturing. Okay, what will happen? For example, so granules pharma. So what will happen? There is a lot of companies who is going to manufacture granules. Granules is nothing but just we are going to use under medicine. Okay, under tablets we are going to use granules. So all these Aurobindo Pharma, Reddy Labs or Hetero, there is a lot of pharmaceutical companies who is going to manufacture medicines. But for those medicines, if you want to manufacture granules, so sometimes they may have space, they may not have space to manufacture the granules in their plant, or else if they want to manufacture the granules, so the equipment or the resource cost may be huge for them, because every organization is going to have some standards. For example, if the organization is having that, so minimum their employee, they have to pay 20,000 rupees salary. So as well as, so the equipment, this is the maintenance they have to maintain, everything, they have some standards. So if you are manufacturing granules, for example, if that is costing 1 lakh rupees, then there is a lot of contract manufacturer people who will manufacture the same granules. Then what these Aurobindo Pharma or Hetero will do, they will send the raw material. Raw material should be there only, because so material and everything should be there only, and the process should be their process only, but they will hand over to the some other supplier who is going to complete the manufacture process. It's okay, forget about that one. So let's take an example, food items. So we all take ketchups and all these things, correct? So if any time you visit any McDonald's or any KFC or any Burger King, so we all see that ketchups and sauces. Did you saw the, I mean, we all take ketchups, right?
Yeah.
So in the ketchup backside, is it manufactured by which you have, just observe, manufactured by whether McDonald's or manufactured by whether KFC or any other company like Field Fresh or anything, which you have seen?
No, not. It is outsourced company something.
That's some outside company. But who is the recipe belongs to which company? Recipe belongs to McDonald's only.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Some scenarios, raw material also should be from McDonald's only, as well as even this all these okay, let me pause recording. Just 1 minute. So for example, anyone have any idea about hydraulic engines?
Yes.
So those hydraulic engines is going to worth like millions. So few hydraulic engines even, so they will start minimum of 100k USD to, so a lot of hydraulic engines till 100 million hydraulic engines also there. So if something issue came, so if some issue came or else, so something happened, then we have to rework on that hydraulic engine. So is every organization going to have the resources who is capable of handling that hydraulic engine?
No.
No, but we don't know when we are going to get the issue, for example. So that means, do we is every company is going to afford to keep couple of resources on a regular basis without having issues also?
No.
In the
They
same,
give
what
it.
will happen? Even I observed, for example, all these power plant projects is there. So in the power plant projects, if something issue came, someone will come from Germany who is going to charge on a lakhs. So they will charge minimum of 25 lakhs a day. So that means they're bringing resources from the supplier to complete that process, to rework or a standard work or anything. That is a OSP process. Just bringing the resource to complete that process. That is a OSP. Contract manufacturing, nothing but manufacturing process will be taken care by outside supplier. Okay. Clear the differences between contract manufacturing and OSP?
Yeah. The subtype, no, is it a lookup type or can we
This is
have?
a lookup of
and-
just for clear purpose to understand what type of a job we are doing.
Okay.
So
No,
in
for
the
the
standard
transformer
work order only, but for the standard work order, why you are going to do, just we can add some more values also, just as a reference purpose, a lookup only. Okay.
No, I could see the rework work order thing, but a transform work order, something, relevancy is there, it would have been better.
I didn't get that.
No, say standard work order is there, rework work order, we can use the repair subtype, but for the transform work order, it's a new feature, but why they didn't put anything subtype for this one? Or is it possible from our end to change
So
that
we
one?
can add values.
Oh, very
Are we
nice.
able
Thank
to
you.
add values in inventory lookups or not?
Yes, we could
So
add it.
when you can add the value in the lookup again?
In the work order type, we used to do
No,
it.
when we can add a lookup, when we can add a value in lookup. Oh, 1 second, give me 1 second, guys. Just give me 1 second.
If it is extensive, we can do it.
So, I mean, when we can add a value in the lookup?
Extensive, extensive or user
Lookup
type.
configuration level, either user or extensible.
Yes, sir.
If lookup configuration level is system level, can we add?
No, sir, we cannot do it.
So that's what. So just this subtype is a these values are coming from a lookup, which is a lookup configuration level is a user level. So we can add a value.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sharad, what is perm, Sharad? Why the checkbox?
Even I don't understand. I don't know. Okay. So if you want to add any attachments, we can add it. Then completion information, default supply type, from where the supply type will populate. So based on the work definition, whatever the setup in the work definition, that supply type will populate. Or else here we can choose supply type for this complete work order. Okay. If we choose based on work definition, what is the work definition supply type for components?
We put assembly.
Assembly pool. Did we choose an or automatically that is populated?
That populated automatically from the
From where it is populated?
from the finished good. From the finished good.
Is that from finished good?
From the main item
From the
setup.
item components.
Item components under manufacturing, the as per our template, the supply type we choose as a assemblable. As per
Correct.
template, the seeded value is assemblable. That is the reason. So it is assemblable for all components. So or else you can change it a component level, or else you can change it work definition level. But the final precedence and highest precedence is whatever you are going to choose at work order level. So if you choose based on work definition, whatever in the work definition assemblable will populate, or else whatever you are going to choose, so that separator will come into the picture. So first at this moment is okay, let's skip to the based on the work definition. First we have to complete the work order today. Then completion sub inventory. From plant parameters, completion sub inventory is populated as FG. If you want, you can update it. Over completion tolerance type. Are you going to allow to complete more than the work order quantity? For example, I said that 5 quantity we are going to manufacture. If I manufacture 10, are you going to allow or not? Will be decided by this over completion tolerance type. So either percent or quantity. For example, I'm choosing percentage. Over completion tolerance percentage is only 10%. So that means if I want to manufacture 5 quantity, it should be 5.5 only. So but no one will manufacture 5.5 anyhow. So if they manufacture 6, it won't allow. So for example, if I choose, if the quantity is 10, over completion tolerance value 10% is nothing but, so 11 quantity we are going to allow, as well as 9 quantity anyhow, it's a less completion, it always allows, but over completion, so 11 quantity it will allow and 12 it won't allow. So if you don't choose anything, that means so we are not going to restrict anything. So what will happen is just it is I mean once we choose and once you make it back, so sometimes data won't update, again you have to cancel and you have to come back. So at this moment I'm going to choose percentage, percentage like 10% I'm going to allow. That means maximum I can manufacture 11, and more than 11 system won't allow us. Okay, then select operations. So these operations are going to inherit from work definition. These are the 3 operations. Out of these 3 operations, in the first operation, all operations are count point operations only. Count point nothing but manually we need to transact the operations. All these are count point operations only. And in the first operation, we are going to manufacture 3 components. We are going to assemble 3 components. In second operation, we are not going to assemble any components. We are just going to install the software, where software identity as a item. Then third operation, we are going to perform testing where there is no items we are going to assemble. So if you want, you can modify from here also. These are inherited from work definition. For example, now you identify that, okay, hard disk I want to assemble at second operation level. Then go to edit operation items. You can edit operations at work order level. You can edit operation items, or else you can edit operation sources. For example, I'm going to edit operation items. Now, which one you don't want to assemble here, just select that one and you can delete. As well as you can change the supply types, default supply sub inventories and everything you can change. So at this moment, I'm not going to modify anything. Select.
Sarath, one question. The completion date is based on the lead time, right? I mean, it's not standard.
Actually, we didn't define any lead times. There is some seeded profile values is there that will consider. Actually, did we define any lead times? So
these operations are telling, right? Like it takes 5 hours for step 1, 5 hours. So these are all contributing to lead time, right?
I mean, my question is, did we define anything anywhere?
Usually it takes it from routing.
Yes, usually it's not from routing actually. So usually manufacturing lead times, manufacturing cumulative lead times is there.
From the item it takes, actually you can use that item also there, and then it takes the lead time.
Yeah, but my question is, did we define any lead time so far?
No, even if you don't, we haven't defined, but still it takes from the profile options and all. Then
That's what I'm saying, from profile. Sorry.
Profile option pad.
Yeah, there is the administrator profile value. Let me check the profile value name. So once complete this one, I will check that one. So there is some value is there. So if you go to manage administrator profile values, so from where you have to search is from the setup and maintenance on the right side task, you can see. So manage search. From search, you have to search manage administrator profile values. From there, you can see the value. So we'll check exact name also. Okay. So as we didn't define, it is taking from the profile value as a seeded timings. Okay, that is the reason by default it is coming 5 days.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then select save and close. So forward schedule, reschedule work order, backward schedule from scheduling method. Why scheduling method is coming? So reschedule work order. Okay, one second. Let me save first. Forward schedule from start date. The value over completion tolerance value is valid. Values are 0 or a positive number. So what?
Take out that completion over tolerance one.
So we didn't choose in percentage first thing. Okay, 1%. For example, select save. So now it is not asking. Okay, select save and close. Okay, now we just created one work order which is in unreleased status. At the time of creating the work order, we can make it as a release status or else. So select work order and click on release. Again, you have to ensure that in the search criteria. So based on the whatever you enabled, based on that one only you can see the data. For example, if you see unreleased is is not checked. In that scenario, if you see there, you won't see your work order. So if you want to see your work order, you have to ensure that status also correct in the search criteria. Select search, then select your work order, click on release. Click on release. The status of one work order was updated to released status. So once we release the status, the standard process is so we are going to at the time of releasing only based on the assembly pool, based on the picking rules, we are going to pick the components and those components. So we are going to report either manually or else automatically system will report after completing the work order. So based on the backflash scenarios, then we are going to report resource transactions also. So parallelly, what we will do, parallelly we are going to perform move transactions in e-business suite. Move transactions from one operation queue to run to move, again from to move to another operation queue. Like that, we are going to move operations from one operation to another operation. And finally, from material transactions, we are going to complete the work order. But here in cloud application, this is a very simple scenario. Reporting material and resource transactions to Blackflash, automatically system will report after completion, or else manually we can report. So manually we can report the material and all these resource transactions. So but today we'll complete a review dispatch list, nothing but completing a work order. Click on review dispatch list. So here the item which is having a CP underscore 1000 work order is currently in which operation?
10th operation.
10th operation. How much quantity? 10?
10.
So it is available in ASM work center. Then expand search button. You have to ensure that the search criteria is clear, or else you won't see the data also. See here, what is the by default work area? ASM work area. So but if you see ASM work area, okay, I will show you the difference. So now we have to complete this. So then what will happen once it is coming into the 10th operation? So people is going to complete the manufacturing process. Once they complete, they will move to 20th operation. In e-business suite, once it is coming to the 10th operation queue, from there, whenever they started the process, they will change as a run. Then from the run, they will change to move. Then from move, they will change to again another operation queue. That's the standard process. But is anyone follow in real actually?
No, nobody.
No.
So that is, that is the reason. Maybe that is the reason, or even it's not required. So process became simplified. Just expand this one in operation. In this is the work order SCP. Okay, don't click. It's not saving close. So this is the work order SCP-1000 work order operation 10, where Asus laptop 10 quantity is in ready status. It should be ready only. So we are completing 10. Either quick complete or else complete with details. Click on complete with details. So there is another checkbox is there to report material and resource transactions. So we'll see one by one. So 10 quantity, I'm going to complete print label, nothing but system will generate a label. So with barcode, anyhow, at this moment, print label is not required. In the final operation, people will print a label and they will attach that barcode to the item. At this moment, it's not required. Select, see product, select, save and close. Select, save and close. Now, same 10 quantity is available in which operation?
20.
So here it is very clearly
20.
Number of units completed operation 10 for work order 1000 is 10 each 10 quantity. The next operation is 20th operation at work order at work center. In which work center we have to perform at work center 2 belongs to software installation process. Then in the 20th operation, see this is what material transaction. This is what this is transaction. So if you enable, automatically system will report. Anyhow, I'm not going to report. Okay, I'm not going to report at this moment. So first, let's complete the work order. So then complete with details. So select. So 10 quality I'm completing in this particular operation also. Then there should be one more operation, right? Why it is not displaying? See, what is the next operation? Next operation is 30.
Work area is different.
Work area is different. You have to ensure that such criteria is correct. Either you can search with test work center, or else if you go with all, then if you choose all, again in which work center. So you can choose specific work center or all work center or test work center. This belongs to test work center. I am choosing all. Then in all, at this moment, if you search the operations which are in ready status, only that will display. So in ready status, 30th operation is there. But if we expand, so if you expand, so if you change the status as complete also, for example, select search, then you can see 3 operations. See, there is 3 operations, 10, 20, both are completed. 30th is currently in ready status. So is 30th operation last one or not?
Yes.
Yes,
And are we completing one by one operation manually or not?
yes.
Why we are completing manually?
Because you selected
Because we
count point.
We selected count point, which is a manual operation. And one more basic scenario, guys. So you can maintain automatically transact operations, but the final operation for a work definition, should be count point operation only. Okay. So select expand. So 10 quantity complete with details. Now system will ask you to choose inventory details also. 10 quantity we are completing. If you want, you can print label. Later also we can print label. Select next. Select next. So we are completing 10 quantity. Then this 10 quantity transacting to where? So in e-business suite, again we need to go to completion transaction from material transactions. But here directly in the last operation we are going to transfer to sub inventory. So 10 quantity we are transacting to FG sub inventory. Select save and close. Select save and close. The number of units completed operation.
Sarath, for example, if we have selected some inspection and among this 10 quantity, I have rejected 2.
Yes,
So,
we can result back and we can scrap it, or else again we can perform.
so from there, how do you move those 2 to scrap then? Here itself in this
Okay,
scenario.
here itself we are going to have options. So for example, if we expand this one, so here reverse to ready. For example, 30th quantity I am going to complete.
Yeah, in EBS, how we do return and then probably the work order.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, again, the return, that is different. So in e-business suite also, returning is different. But in EBS also, from completed to, you will make it as a, again, released status. Not
Okay.
again,
Okay.
you will change back to released status. Okay.
Okay.
So here we are going to reverse to ready status. That's all. Okay.
And then you will reject 20. A2. See, specifically 2 I have to reject.
Yeah, we will do. I mean, sir, how many days we are going to discuss manufacturing?
Okay.
What is the schedule? Till next 16th also, we are going to discuss manufacturing only, right?
Okay, ma.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Is it Krishna, sir?
Yeah, no problem. No,
Oh,
go
sorry,
ahead,
sir.
yeah, no problem.
No, actually, I mean, so you
No,
joined
no.
today only, right? Actually, for previous, I mean, remaining people, we had a schedule like, so by today we have to complete basic work order scenario.
Good. No,
Then
go ahead.
from next week onwards, we are going to discuss in detailed scenarios. Follows to, I mean, till 23rd also, we are going to discuss manufacturing, work definition, work execution,
Okay.
and quality.
Okay.
Okay, sir. As you don't know the schedule, I'm sorry. I mean, I thought some other person.
No issues. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. Okay. So with this, we completed basic work order scenario. Anyone have any questions on the manufacturing process?
Yes, sir. See, there are about 10 operations are there. Practically what happens when the work order execution, no, they do straight away the completion, because you know that everything is available in the shop floor and this is only in the system they do. So they don't go step by step operations and other things, generally the operators. They just go to the work order and do the completion immediately.
That is the
This,
reason. So that is the reason. So now we have the clear process. So if you directly go, the costing calculation will be wrong. The
okay.
biggest problem with that, what our warehouse operators will do, so costing problems, we will face a lot of costing calculation problems. So
Okay.
another one is the way reporting material and resources, based on that only costing, charge, everything will come into the picture. So even in OSP operations also, as people are doing like that one, so a lot of times OSP calculations also became lot of issues. That is the reason. So we cannot directly move from 10 to the 100, and we cannot close directly.
So always we should opt for push, we should insist for push type, because they
It's not push
generally
type
tell,
actually. Push is a supply type. That is different.
okay. No, in the
Just
operation for
people has
this,
to follow the process to complete a work order. This is simple terminology.
okay.
So one by one operations, rather than in e-business suite, we have 40 operations. From 10 to, they will directly move to last operation. From 10 Q2, they will
Correct.
directly move to last operation to move, and they will perform complete transactions.
Yeah.
So just to avoid that kind of things, now we have a clear process. So the why we have to define in the application to track each and everything individually, right? That is the main agenda.
Yes. Yes.
Sir,
Yeah.
how system will know this is the operation as assembly pull or operation pull, this work order?
That's based on the, I
By
mean,
the time
Based on the
work
defining
definition.
the work
If you
order,
don't have work definition at work order level, you can choose. At work
yeah,
order, we choose based on work definition, or else work order level, we can choose assembly pull or operation pull or anything.
correct. It is available already based on work definition.
So first thing, it is available in item specification level. From there, we can populate to work definition. At work definition, we can change. So or else from there, we can populate to work order. Again, in work order, we can change it. But highest presidency, whatever value in work order, that is the highest presidency.
Work order. Okay.
Yeah.
And second thing is at the time of defining plant parameters, like here you have selected as a none. So that is the reason already you have assigned resources as
So
well
which
as
one we choose a none?
No, we have not.
there is backflush material. Both
Yeah,
resource.
backflush is different. That is not backflush. That is allow quantity changes during backflush. That means if you say some 5 components required. So if we allow quantity changes during backflush, that more than 5 quantity system will allow us to pick. If you make it as none, system won't pick that one. More than 5 quantity. It should be the specific quantity which we mentioned in the work definition. From work definition, whatever quantity we populated in the work order, again at work order, you can edit operation items. But at the time of work execution process, you cannot report more than the given quantity.
Okay.
If
If
you
it's
allow quantity changes during blacklist, that is not
oh,
backflush.
okay.
Sarah?
Sarath, how come we didn't do the component pick release and all that? We kind of assumed that it is all already available. And,
Yes,
required-
component pick release and everything is available. We'll go. We are going to discuss in
Oh.
next. So for that, we have to define picking rows. Based on the picking rows, we are going to generate the whip movement request. So a whip movement request is going to let warehouse employees to pick the material from specific supply sub inventory to transfer to shop.
Sarah?
Yes, Sunil.
Instead of selecting count point, if we have selected automated,
Then if you choose automatic transfer, for example, 10 operation, you choose as a count point, 20th you choose as a automatic, 30th you choose as a count point. Then what will happen is, so if you complete 10th operation, directly system will take you to 30th operation, 20 will complete automatically in the application, and it will be available in 30th operation.
the 20th operation will take until it's complete, or can we close manually like you have done for the count point?
No, that 20th operation will complete automatically and directly it will comes to 30th operation.
For example, it will for 20th operation, it has taken 2 days to complete. Before only we can close that operation. Can we close?
Question is not clear for me.
The 20th operation is automated process.
Okay, 1 second. Let me take a notepad.
Okay.
So your question is, then your question is 10th operation is count point.
Yes.
Then 20 is automatically transact.
Okay.
Then 30th operation is count point operation. In this scenario, what will happen is first we are going to complete 10th operation. So
Yes.
upon completing 10th operation, if you click on complete or quick complete or complete details, it won't go to 20. Directly it will go to 30th operation. It will be in 30th operation ready status.
Okay.
This 20 will complete automatically, and you can see if you go to history, you can see this 20 is already completed.
Oh. It will not have any time.
No, it won't have any time. With immediate effect, it will complete in the application.
Okay.
Oh, that's why you are telling that it will create lot of confusion for that timing and other thing. How if 20th operation is having some resources, they affect everything, how it will go? Because generally resource transaction, they go by automatic only. Even in EBS also, it is automatic.
That is different actually. Resource transactions, material transactions, how to report, that is different concept.
Yeah, that's correct. But there are some effort at the 20th operation, say for instance, about 20 hours. These 20 hours, how it will get transacted, then immediately how it will get reflected on the 30th.
Yeah, that calculations are definitely. What will happen is, okay, again in this scenario, so we will see automatic transact is, let's take an example. So sometimes, okay, so usually in the production lines, sometimes only machinery will do the job, correct?
Yes,
Even
yes, most.
single resource not going to work in that specific area. Production lines will take care of everything. And again, are you going to charge for equipment or not? Sometimes some businesses, what they will do is to manufacture every item for that equipment, they will charge, for example, $1. Let's take an example. They purchase with some $10 million that equipment, so but every time they will charge $1. In that scenario, so what they will do, they have to mention the costing and everything as a $1 as a standard. Then automatic transact operation won't have any issues because it's not based on the hourly basis. Just we are going to calculate the cost as a $1 to manufacture one quantity. In that scenario, and even no other resources are going to stay in that plant, it is going to transact automatically, and entire power and everything is going to calculate as the other expenses, but not for specific manufacture. Usually, in that scenario, we can make it as automatic transact.
Okay.
So in that production line, no one will work. Automatically, these machines will take care of the job. Sometimes we will charge the machines, or sometimes we won't charge. Even if we charge also, so we will say like, as machine already procured, so some machines again they need to keep on refill. That is a different. Then we will go with count point. That is different. Or else again we can use some specific charge. So in that scenario, if you want to give some specific charge or no charge for that machine, then why we need to go with count point? That is taking care of a production line automatically, right?
Yeah.
Automatic transact in that scenario. Again, charge. So sometimes people will charge for that equipment for each quantity, or else so sometimes they won't charge. If they want to charge also, they will charge like for each quantity $1 or 1 cent like that.
Okay.
Based on the item lifetime, number of units that can produce, based on that one, they will divide and they will give some basic charge. So that's what they're going to calculate in that scenario. So we can make it as an automatic transact operation, that particular operation.
Okay.
So that means mostly for production lines we will use, and sometimes even what will happen is, so even if there is a resource presence is required, but still what happens is rather than calculating that resource cost for each and every quantity, so they will take a general, because only one resource he will. So for example, let's see cheese factory. Let's see cheese manufacturing process. So there the machinery will manufacture this cheese, that will cut these slices, that will pack, and everything will do by machinery only. But someone has to stand just to monitor whether if there is anything stuck or not. Correct?
Yeah.
In this scenario, are you going to charge for each and every cheese slice the resource cost?
No.
No, right?
No.
In this scenario, we can mention as even there is a labor resource type labor is present there, still you are not going to charge. In that scenario, we can make it as automatic transact.
Yeah. Generally, the final operation we used to put all these resources.
But final operation should be count point operation only in the discrete manufacturing.
Correct.
And all those things are process manufacturing.
We generally put like that only. in the final operation, we ensure that all that sundry resources and other thing, whoever got involved, everything, we will try to accommodate everything in the final operations.
Ideally, no one will do, but at the final operation, what will happen is we have to ensure that it is completed or not in a discrete manufacturing. This is the reason the final manufacturing should be count point. But even in real environment, because I visited a lot of warehouse manufacturing plants, to be honest, as they have a lot of productions and they have experienced people, so everything is a automated systems. No one will do that much in detail for each and every item, but that should be in the application standpoint of view. It should be count point manually completing the work order. Because what will happen is why it should be manually completing work order is even everything is automated, packing and everything, but we have to take to some sub inventory. Correct?
Yeah.
So where we need to place will be decided by the specific warehouse employee or warehouse person. So even system is populating completion sub inventory, someone need to take that from the pallet or some forklift truck they have to take and they have to place, right? Of course,
definitely.
recent innovations are different. So, for example, recent this Alibaba, Amazon warehouses, those are robotic automations. Those are robotic warehouses. Those are different. Standard operations are different. That is the reason someone has to pick the material from the pallets or from through forklift trucks and they have to deliver to the community. That's why the last operation should be count point operation. And this is the Oracle ERP application system or even SAP also, it should be similar process only. And when it comes to that Amazon and all these things, they're not using the warehouse management as our, Oracle or SAP. They are using the warehouse management softwares. They are using their own automations.
Correct.
Okay. Are we good with basic manufacturing flow?
Yes, it is very clear now.
Then from Tuesday onwards, as I said, from Monday we don't have session. So Monday I will be on travel. From Tuesday onwards, we are going back to the plant parameters. We will discuss about work execution. Again, we will go to work definition one more time. Then we will come to discuss all the work orders, how to report transactions and everything.
And the planning also, that work definition by usage by planning, so that in the this thing.
What will happen is, okay, actually I have knowledge. So planning and utilization, but first thing, the resource are going to utilize 100%. The units are going to use 100%. That is fine. Planning nothing, but from the resource calendar, there is a concept of when you are running the collections, from the collections you can use the resource availability. So that means if you enable this planning 100%, when you run the collections in the resource availability, system will populate whether the resource is available or not. That means so it will go to resource calendar, whether exceptions and everything will be checked by planning central, and it will see whether the resources are available or not. Based on that one, in the supply planning, so for the work order, when we can complete and all those things will come into the picture. That is the reason there is a planning percentage.
Okay.
And BCP batch is about to start. So not about to start, maybe in December ending. But whoever going to work in cloud, only I will suggest them to attend. So or else whoever started working. Okay.
No, I would like to join in VCP.
Yeah, but maybe next year again we are going to have some more batch. Let me pause recording.